Hey everybody, welcome to Smashing Game Time. We are two brothers, that's right, just two brothers this week, going through gaming's back catalog of yesteryear. I'm your host, Nick, and it is a wonderful, beautiful February day today. And I'm joined by, he's not a Capricorn, he's not a Taurus, I think he's a Sagittarius. It's Josh.
I have no idea. I don't believe in witchcraft.
See, you know what? This is because you guys used to complain about the kitty corner stuff. Now I'm just going to start getting all inventive when I'm doing the intros.
Oh, we don't have a catty corner anymore. It's to the right or to the left.
Well, when we do have guests, which we will have some guests coming up, but we thought this week would be a nice tune up between you and me getting back into sync. We are back from a week break. It wasn't much of a break. We all just kind of played video games and hung out. We had a birthday for one of my kiddos here. And everyone was merry, and it was last week was one of those weeks where Wednesday we were like, oh, we can't record, and then Thursday, oh, you know what, let's do it on Sunday, and then Sunday came around, and then it was one of those, you know what, I don't think it's happening this week. So it was one of those breaks, but not a break, because we had all intentions of recording, but it's whatever, right?
Fine. It was busy. It was a busy weekend.
It gave Josh plenty of time to work on his journals for the website. He got them all.
I did not do anything. I was too busy playing Skull and Bones.
Oh, Josh, that cough! I don't think you could podcast with that cough.
No, I think we'll have to call quits.
So this week we've got a lot of catching up to do. So we're going to talk games, we're going to talk news, we're going to do a meme, and then we're going to close shop for the week, because that's what we're going to do. Just a lot's gone on in the last 2 weeks between game announcements, some things going on. As always, you can get Smashing Game Time anywhere you get your podcasts. Find us on Apple, Spotify, YouTube Podcasts, and YouTube proper, where you can see our wonderful, beautiful faces every Monday morning, except for this past Monday. Oh, well. Josh, I'm gonna cut it over to you first. What have you been playing?
Well, let's get this out of the way, because it's been a while since we talked about it. Transistor. I beat it.
You finally beat Transistor. Hey,
I finally beat Transistor.
Our book club game that we said we were going to start this year, we did it. We both beat the game. Josh.
Yeah, it wasn't just me beating the game this time. We actually had both of us beat it.
That's right. What are your final thoughts? And they don't have to be final. We could always come back to them later. But what are your thoughts on Transistor?
I still think Bastion was better. Personally, I think it just overall in general was just a better product. Not saying that Transistor is terrible. I enjoyed like the Plan Zero, the turn-based aspect of it. I did enjoy that. I enjoyed the being able to mix all your abilities and then give them different perks based on the other functions you find.
Mm-hmm.
At first, the story was very interesting. I think it was like, oh, okay, what's going on? Like I was just very curious about what was going on. I feel like at the end, though, I still didn't understand what was happening.
So, and you know what? I think it's one of those things where they bury a lot of the story in the lore readings for each character, which you unlock a little piece of lore every time you attach. Like, so if you use it as an active ability, a passive ability, or as an upgrade, it unlocks like one part of that character's lore. I do think the game does a disservice by burying a lot of its story in that, whereas Bastion, a lot of the story is coming from the narrator directly.
Right. But it definitely was like, now that I finished it, and I know I can play, New Game Plus, and it's basically even the enemies kick off right where it left off, where I'm already fighting enemies that I fought at the end of the game, right at the very beginning. And I was like, okay, now I have to play it to see if there's anything else that happens.
I forget what they're called. The guys that do the cameras, and then I think they're called the snapshots. And then when you go to battle them in turn base, when you move, like it covers your screen so you can't see what you're moving towards.
Yep.
Least favorite, them and the dogs that like disappear and you can't attack while they're disappeared.
So those didn't bother me too bad. I would say the man was probably a little more frustrating in the sense of you always had to pause time and do a plan hit. You're lucky maybe to hit them once before they disappeared.
I forget the name of the ability, but like I feel like to fight the man, which is it's ironically named. It's a humanoid like android looking guy. like you had to have the dash ability because he would pop up. Basically, he'd go invisible, try to pop up behind you, attack, and then go back invisible. So you had to time your stop. That was like the one enemy where you had to freeze the game.
Yeah. Well, and even then, I felt like most of the game, once you got to like the 2.0s of each enemy, you basically were forced to use it because whatever they had that upgrade that made them a little more impossible to fight.
Hmm. And I think I think I agree. I think I do like Bastion better. I think, and I don't remember what I said about Transistor the last time we played. I think I was being coy about it because you hadn't finished it yet. But I think there's this beauty, not so much as beauty, but Red. So spoiler warning and also content warning. Um, Red takes her own life using the transistor at the end, and I think it's because she realizes the world's coming to an end. The world has been like there's nobody left. Everyone that's left is a function or an ability that she uses, and so you defeat the final boss. Which, by the way, final boss pain in the ass.
Very much pain in the ass.
And it's funny because he's a final boss that basically follows all the same rules that you do. You have to defeat him 4 times. Every time you defeat him, he loses an ability. Though I feel like he didn't really lose any
No,
abilities.
I felt like you get harder.
Right. And so he follows the same rules. You beat him. And Bastion, your mysterious boyfriend sword guy, is like, we can finally rebuild the world. But the issue is, it's just Red. There's no one to rebuild the world with. So while she has all of this, and I kind of went into this in my journal, but I'll go into it here. She has all the functions. She has all the art created by the people previously alive, and there's no one to share it with. She can iterate on it all she wants. She can create her own art from all that stuff. But when there's no one to share it with, what's the fucking point? And that's when she turns the sword on herself.
Which is even more depressing because she left him by himself.
Right. I'm a few weeks removed. Did she do it right where he did, like where he
Yep,
was?
she literally sits right next to what would be left of his body and just stabs herself. And he's like, "Wait, don't do it, Red. Why? Don't do it." And then he just questions her like after she does it. It's like I think it's kind of depressing. She just left him there.
And it's a slow process, right? Because she's like turning it, and it was the. I'm
Yeah,
trying to remember if the controller was vibrating. I don't remember fully, but I think it was a good ending. I liked its ending better than Bastion. I think Bastion was left more open ended.
yeah, but I think because the way it was explained, it was better. Where this, I felt like it was just kind of like you said, you had to bring. It was a destiny. You had to have the app. You had to read the lore.
Had to read the lore. Well, and Bastion had the multiple endings, and I don't remember. I don't remember if they were both hopeful, but I remember one of them
No,
being pretty.
one was one resets everything because he's like, you can go back in time to prevent it from happening.
Doesn't that end up being the bad ending though?
Yeah, that's the bad ending because that's what makes you play the game again
Because you
and
never
then
meet
get the good ending.
you never meet you never meet the woman that you save. You never meet the guy who like they cause a ceasefire because you carried him.
Yeah,
And you know what? I might be
yeah,
talking
yeah.
myself into replaying Bastion now.
The
The kid
kid.
shows strength when no one else did. Oh my god, such a good game.
It's not to say Transistor is bad. It's just I felt like I had more questions at the end of it, and probably need to just like go into someone's essay, college essay about it, talking about it, so I can just get a better understanding. Because yeah, I could go read all the lore, but I'm being super lazy, and I'd rather just have someone explain it to me. Final
Just
five.
just wait until I write my essay.
Last time I read anything of yours, I was just openly disgusted with the world.
Oh, because it was a hard drive article, probably.
Yeah.
Speaking of games, I could write an essay on and probably plan on doing soon here. Nuclear Blaze, you finished. You 100%ed the game. You sick fuck.
Not only did I beat both modes in time, I also 100%ed the Steam achievements. Yes, it was honestly, it was a really fun game.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed every moment of it, and I don't know why we don't have more games like that.
Some might call me a tastemaker.
You every once in a while you bring up something that is fantastic, but I digress on that because I definitely brought it into the group that we should totally play some Helldivers too.
before we go on to Helldivers
Yes,
2 real quick,
before.
I think Nuclear Blaze, and again, I haven't beaten New Game Plus. You have. I think it's one of the first New Game Pluses I've played where the New Game Plus actually feels like a different game,
Yes,
as
and
opposed to,
I've
oh, you're more powerful. Here are all these leveled up enemies. Go at
no,
it, Chief.
literally new areas you never explored before, and then even then, when you get into the areas that you did explore, there are certain things that are different. For example, there's one room where you had to go and grab these keys to be able to turn on the sprinklers uh, in normal mode, but in New Game Plus, those keys don't exist. So not only are you putting out the fire, but you're out two or three sprinklers systems.
Mhm.
So now you have to be a little more strategic about it. Or in some spots, they have the little cooling tower where you shoot it and it's supposed to shoot out water all around it to stop the spreading, but it only works one time.
I hate that thing. I hate it so much because the first area you run into it, like it's this big room that was already hard in the original mode, and now fires come back a lot faster. It's
And spread a lot faster.
and spread a lot faster. It's why I stopped because I got really stuck and I was like, I'm just gonna come back and do all this later.
That's not even the hardest part. Have you run into a turret yet?
No, not yet.
Those are a pain in the ass.
I'll have to take your word for it for now. I do plan on going back and beating that New Game Plus. I just think the little bit that I did play of it, I was like, oh, this feels like an actual brand new game.
Oh, it was fantastic. Like I want more games like that. Literally the best $10 I've ever spent in my life.
Shut up. There's some good ass Taco Bell you had for $10 one day. Don't lie.
Maybe if I was high.
Maybe. Yeah, let's come back to the Helldivers, Josh. Let's finish
Yeah,
up the rest of this list of yours here.
yeah. We'll just go through the rest of the one good, the other two very questionable games. Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm running through it again. Just getting prepared for Rebirth here in the next week.
How is seven? Because at this point, 7 is 4 years old. The remake.
Yes.
Jeez, Louise. Oh wow.
Yep. I even pre-ordered the deluxe edition
Oh gosh. So
of
did the
the
deluxe
original.
edition give you access to Rebirth already?
No.
Oh, okay.
It gave me. I got the OST.
Of
I
course.
got a nice little booklet, which I put somewhere over here. I don't know where it's at. I have it over here. I'll find it eventually in this clutter of working. But then it also came with a cool little steel case and a couple of summons for in-game.
Wait, the in-game summons are like,
In-game summons, yeah.
oh god, and you had to pay for them.
It just came with the deluxe edition, and then this cool steel case.
That is pretty sexy. I do love a good steel case. I'm a sucker for them.
Oh, I am too. And then, of course, the inside is Cloud looking up at Shinra headquarters.
It's a classic image. It's right up there
Yeah.
with the Mona Lisa.
I mean,
Yeah.
prime example.
I was seeing double there for a minute.
Yeah. So, I mean, I did it because I was like, at the time, I was like, oh, this is definitely going to be like the fucking coolest thing ever. And it was. And I still think, honestly, for a remake, Square did a fantastic job. People do not give them enough credit for what 7 is, the remake.
I think it's all the Kingdom Hearts esque stuff that they're doing that I'm like,
Could you clarify on the esque portion of that?
where they're playing with like meta narrative.
See, but that's what I enjoy because in a traditional remake, you're getting the same story, just you're polishing it, making it look nicer.
The naming convention's also kind of following the Kingdom Hearts of it. You got remake. What was the short game with Yuffie?
Oh, Intergrade.
Intergrade. You've got Rebirth coming out. Was there another one? Did they just redo Crisis Core?
They did Crisis Core, but they called that one Reunion.
It's just you don't have to do all this, Square. I know this is your one thing right now besides 14.
But Nick, do you know the story though? What's going on in?
Oh, it's so convoluted. Did you see that?
It's not convoluted.
Did you see that the New York Times spoiled? Like people got mad that the New York Times spoiled Final Fantasy VII, like a 30-year-old game at this point.
No, I didn't know that.
Someone did a write up on Rebirth, And so through work, I have like a subscription, so I get little pings when like a news story pops up, and I guess the app was like, "Oh, he's a gamer," and it pops up, and it's like Rebirth, and it talks about Aerith dying in the original, and
And people were upset.
in the headline, and people on the internet, so not real people, were very upset about the
That
spoilers.
that like there's okay. When it comes to Final Fantasy VII, there are three things everybody knows about that: this image, Sephiroth, and Aerith dying to Sephiroth. Like everybody knows that. It is like the holy triad of.
I was too busy being obsessed with Tifa to
I mean,
notice Aerith dying. I'm sorry.
I'm too obsessed right now with Tifa and Jesse.
Oh fuck! I forgot Jesse's alive. You know what? You know what I think's gonna happen. You want to know what I think's gonna happen? You want to know what I think is gonna happen? Someone who hasn't played all of Remake. I own it. Haven't played it. Might hook up the old PS4 over here to the video capture card. Don't hold me to it. No, what I think it's gonna happen. I think they're obviously gonna, because the meta story is there are these little ghosts that go around that don't want anything to change, and like people are kind of like have this vibe of, man, deja vu. This has happened before. I think what's going to happen is where Aerith is supposed to die, and I know I've seen theories that like people are saying it's going to give you a choice, and it will probably be Aerith or Cloud. I think it'll be Tifa or Jesse. I think Tifa or
So
Jesse will die in that moment, and I think they're gonna. I think they're really gonna. Because is Jesse in your party by the end of of Remake?
so it's been a hot minute since I played it. It's still kind of thrown out there that Jesse and Biggs die in Sector 7. Wedge is technically the only one who actually is like at the end of the story is alive,
Okay,
which in the original they all died at the tower.
right. They
Or
all
at,
die,
at
and
the
Barrett's like Barrett is like clamoring at the wall, like no, 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 and then he shoots the wall. He say, "Well, if they're
yes.
in there, they're dead now after you shot them."
uh, well, what's also fantastic about this is it's not closed off. You can't go back to it. You actually do go back into Sector 7 and into the ruins of it, and you're helping people evacuate. But then you also find a secret Shinra laboratory that was built underneath Sector 7,
And it's all
which
fucked up.
is
It's all
which is
fucked
where you
up,
find
right?
Wedge. Well, all these Shinra experiments escape, and you're exploring it, and you end up finding Wedge down there.
Is he a bad guy at that point, or is he still?
No, he's like unconscious. And basically, it's like, will he or will he not make it? Where, like I said, at that point, Jesse and Biggs are kind of like ambiguously dead. Like it's not actually like thrown out there that they are, but it's like, eh. But then, based on the trailer we have for Rebirth, it looks like Jesse is alive and is dancing at the Golden Saucer.
I think, I do think that they're gonna play around with the Aerith thing, the death. I'm sorry, we're gonna get yelled at for spoiling it. I know, 30-year-old game. I'm so sorry. I think they're gonna change it, and I think they're gonna kill. They're either gonna make you really, really, really like Jessie and then kill her, which I think they did a really good job of building her up in Remake, if I'm remembering
Oh,
correctly.
like I said, I'm not gonna lie. I, I I know it's a game. I know it's not a real person.
Sick fuck.
I had waifu feelings for her.
He's got the pillow. So that, or they're gonna kill Tifa, because Tifa's always been like that rock, that girl next door type energy for Cloud, and I think that'd be a big hit for Barrett too.
Not only that, but I feel like if they went that route, technically they can go into Advent Children and redo that and with that twist.
Remind me, what is Tifa like a big part of Advent Children?
Yeah, so it's like 2 years after the incident
Mm-hmm.
or after the meteor being called and all that, and basically Sephiroth's I would say basically it's his clones. It's more like his shadows uh, are trying to find Genova Genova cells, and it's Cloud basically trying to find out what's going on because everybody in Midgar is becoming infected with stigma, which is like a curse or like a disease from Sephiroth, basically.
Do you say they all got Ligma?
Stigma. Yeah, I got Ligma.
I couldn't help
Uh,
myself. I'm sorry.
but in that, at one point, she ends up fighting one of the shadows and then ends up being rescued by Cloud. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, besides the point, I don't think that's going to happen. I think I know exactly how they're going to set this up.
All right, let's hear it.
So obviously, at the rate we're going, they're going to end it with Cloud giving Sephiroth the black materia when he's in the his stasis, where he's in the North Crater.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's where it's going to end. But I think it's going to end with Cloud joining Sephiroth.
I like it.
I only say that because all of a sudden, for some odd reason, so yeah, Cloud is getting like, hey, I'm getting deja vu. What's going on here? He's like the only one who's actually truly experiencing it, going like, I think I've seen this before. I don't know. But also, Seth Roth is as well, because originally Seth Roth wasn't introduced as a character until Cloud tells the story. Like, we see the long sword we see his sword in the back of the president of Shinra.
Mm-hmm.
But then before that, we had never seen it. We've only heard his name. But the fact that within the first hour of playing the game, so right after you escape the reactor and trying to get back to Sector 7, you run into a hallucination of him, it blew my mind. I wasn't ready for it.
I remember that part. It threw me off too. I was like, oh, I don't remember him being in the game this early.
And in fact, the fact that you even fight him in that weird dimension outside of time, where he's like, decide, do you want to stay with fate or do you want to fight? And you end up going in and fighting him.
It makes me think they're setting up a different big bad, because looking back at every Final Fantasy that I've ever played, what they've been really good at is, like, you start the game thinking you know who the big bad is, and then about halfway through you get a plot twist. It's like, oh, you thought Gomez was the bad guy? Actually,
it's this one Munarian up there in that other moon that is actually your moon. This is our home planet.
This is a fake
Dad
moon.
was born here. And Gomez is your brother, by the way.
By the way, that guy that you were out to kill, your fucking brother, man.
What?
What?
But yeah, they're definitely setting up for something different. But that's why I think something is going to change, where we know Cloud isn't. Well, and we also got to figure out what the heck's going on with the whole Zack incident. That whole scenario of him dying outside Midgar and telling Cloud, basically telling Cloud, like, buddy, sorry, we won't be able to go in together, and him dying in his arms. That didn't happen. We watch Zack carry Cloud into Midgar. So Zack is probably even still alive at this point. We just don't know what the hell's going on. Well, which then begs the question, was Cloud technically, was he actually a first-class soldier, or what happened?
Now the meta. Now I'm annoyed again. I was I was all in, and now I'm like, I forgot about all the Zack bullshit.
But it begs the question, because let's face it, Cloud was comatose, which is why Zack was carrying him. He was poisoned by the materia, but he got the materia poisoning, or what it's called, I forget, the Mako poisoning.
Ligma.
Yeah, Ligma. So we see him walk away. So it's like, well, what happened? Because obviously we're going to get told this story. We're going to see Cloud when he was not even a soldier, which I don't know if you've seen the people like making fun of him or his character design for back when they're going through the past.
No, I haven't seen the.
People are just like, he's like basically they're making fun of him, saying it's like, that's they show like a picture of like Cloud when he's older. It's like the guy who she said you shouldn't worry about, and then you.
Typical.
I laughed a little because it's funny, but there's so many more questions. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I definitely need an answer. And I haven't done the Yuffie stuff, the Intergrade DLC, which is another reason why I'm like, okay, I need to play never had the PS5 version. I went ahead and got it for $10 just so I could be able to go back and play it and also do the Intergrade.
You better hurry up. And these, you know what? I feel like this trilogy is going to end like Mass Effect. It's just going to be, no one's going to like it by the end.
I enjoyed part 1. I'm sure I'm going to enjoy part 2, because it's just going to lead to more questions. And of course, we get to go not only to the Golden Saucer, but we've got Red 13's place. I forget what it's called again.
I forget too. I don't know how they do a part 3, because I feel like part 2 ends where he gives the materia,
So, well, then
Um,
part 3 is also going to be you have to basically find Cloud. You have to stop all the ultimate weapons, or all the defensive weapons. So, like Ruby weapon, Emerald weapon,
those
Ultima
were
weapon,
those were a pain in the ass.
Omega weapon, and
Forgot
then
about those.
you go back to Midgar to stop Omega weapon, but you end up fighting
Rufus.
Scarlet again. Nope, you fight Scarlet because Rufus dies when Omega Weapon fights back after he shoots the cannon from Junin at it.
Right, that's right. Because that's where I feel like that's where the second game would end. Would be them firing the cannon.
Now, see, I figured it would be Seth Roth calling in Meteor, and you're seeing it come in as you see the weapons being dispersed, and Cloud being sucked into the live stream.
That'd be good too. And then they could open the third one with the firing of the weapon. With
I figured,
with your characters going to try and stop Rufus from firing the weapon. It would kind of open like God of War 3 where you're like ascending the tower to try and stop him.
yeah, and I figure as that's going on, we're having Yuffie, who's in the live stream with Cloud, going through his memories and shit.
Okay. You've kind of bought me back in. But you've used up all your allotted Final Fantasy VII remake talk. Undercover,
That's
what the
fine.
fuck is that?
Undercover. So, cool VR game that I got to test out and review on. Essentially, it is like a spiritual successor to remember those old duck and cover games shooters like Time Crisis.
Kill Switch. Or no. The arcade, the arcade ones.
Yeah, the arcade ones. Essentially, it's that, but for VR. So you have the option, you could be sitting, or you could just press a button and go into cover, reload, and then pop up, or you can do it in VR where you actually have to duck and reload your gun down there and put it back up and shoot at things. It's actually a lot of fun.
Does the shooting feel good?
Yes. The only thing I did not like about it, my only complaint. So you know how in Time Crisis when you're moving to a new area, it tells you, but it's usually fairly decently quick.
Yeah.
This like takes forever. Like you could be moving to a spot, it'll blink where you're gonna go, even though there's a line showing you what direction you're going, and then it takes like 5 seconds.
Eh,
That's the only complaint I had.
I don't think that's too bad. But then again,
No,
I'm patient, unlike you.
I mean, I'm thinking like Time Crisis. I want to be able to see it move all at once. I get that it's VR, so there has to be some limitations. I get that, but it seemed like it was like it would blink, and then I'd be staring at it, going, "Can we teleport?
Okay, move me then. Move me.
Move me. I'm ready."
So
and then it still does.
It teleports you instead of like you like run like instead of you running through an alley, it teleports you through an alley.
Yeah, it just teleports you there, and then you get the ready, start.
Yeah, I could see that being an issue, but also you don't want it to run you through by itself because that's when the motion sickness kicks in. I feel like
I'm sitting down when I was trying out the first time, and I was like, dude, I'd rather have that. Now, if I was standing, I agree, teleport me. But if I'm sitting, I'll be fine. I'm not a pansy.
Not to stick on this too long, but I feel like if someone invents a VR game where you can just lay on your couch and play it, I feel like that will be the future. Because I think the reason VR has not taken off is because people are tired of standing. Make a VR game, and not like that plank one where you're like on the side of a building planking. Like make an actual VR game where I can sit like this.
Oh, Nick, you just need to watch Sword Art Online. Just the first season.
Oh, do they do that?
Essentially, and you'll realize why that's a terrible idea.
I'll read a synopsis on Wikipedia.
It's not so much VR, but it's like a neural link. But it's essentially what you're saying is like that. And it's like, yeah, that sounds like a terrible idea.
I just want to lay down in VR.
Anyway, moving on.
Skull and Bones.
Oh, what can I say about Skull and Bones? Other than don't waste your money.
Is that it? If that's what you want to end on, I'm totally fine.
I'm being brutally honest. Like honestly, play Black Flag. Way better.
Play Sea of Thieves.
Play Sea of Thieves. Even by yourself, it's still better. Honestly, I'm glad I got it for free to review because it is that awful.
I saw the video where they're boarding the enemy ship and you don't board it. You don't board it.
No, do you know what the worst part of it all was? As I was playing it, I kept thinking to myself, "Man, know what this kind of reminds me of? Nick, what was that failed Iron Man like game? I forget the name of it.
Dark Void,
No, the
Dark
one.
Sector.
No, the one that like everybody was like, oh, you can play, dress up as Iron Man, do all this stuff, and then it died almost instantly because it was just fuck. What's it called?
You're really narrowing it
It
down
was
for me.
by. It was supposed to be the Destiny Killer. It was done not by Bungie, not by Bungie.
I didn't know Destiny needed a killer.
Fuck,
I thought
Nick.
Destiny was a Destiny killer.
What's the game called?
I got him. I got him. Eat shit, Destiny
What is
fans.
Nick is gonna bother me now. We can't move on until I think of the damn name of it.
Battlecore.
No, it.
I'm gonna.
What was
I'm.
We're gonna say it. And we're gonna sound fucking stupid. EA made it.
Mag.
Not Nick. PS4, Xbox One. We all had it. We played it. And we said, "Oh my god, this is awful."
Are you talking about the one that BioWare did?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know the fucking name, but good riddance.
That's all I kept thinking was that fucking game. That's gonna bother me now. I hope you know that. I have to look it up.
Guys say good fucking riddance to that game. You could float in the air for like 5 seconds at a time.
This is gonna bother me.
See,
I'm
even
fucking losing my mind right now.
do you not know how to Google?
I'm trying to Google it. I can't think of the
I
damn
don't
name.
think
Nick.
you're trying at all. Just type in BioWare. What are you doing?
I was on. Don't judge me. I was on somewhere else.
Pornhub. You're on Pornhub.
I was on Triple X.
It was Anthem, Josh.
Thank you, Anthem.
My God, we're gonna have to
I was
talk
getting
about.
there.
We're gonna have to talk about your googling skills. My God, I typed in BioWare games.
Dude,
That gave me
I
a
was like-
list of their games.
I was on GameStop.
What is wrong with you? Just Google it.
I don't know. I was like, oh, I remember seeing it on GameStop. They had it on clearance for $4.
Do you have anything else to say about Skull and Bones?
No, move on.
All right, I'm going to take over for a little bit, and then we'll get into Helldivers. So I've got a little list here. We talked about Transistor already. Banisher's Ghost of New Eden. If you haven't read my review, go check that out over on Game Chronicles. I thought it was neat that we were playing Transistor, a game about your lover's sword hanging about helping you out. And then I had Banishers for review, and it was about your ghost lover hanging out, helping you out. I thought that was cool. Banishers very much feels like a AA game. Very much, people were comparing it to God of War 2018. I haven't played it, but it reminded me a lot of Evil West back in 2022, which I played. Just has that heavy third-person action, emphasis on melee and close quarter combat, some gunplay. Not like the gunplay isn't like a big selling point, but it is there. And I really like the setting, and I really like the themes. I like ghost stories, and I like that every case felt like a mystery of the week, and I felt like I really wanted to finish each one. So that was really cool. Banishers, go check that out. I've been playing some Super Meat Boy with my son. That has been fun. I don't know if he's old enough for Super Meat Boy because it can get a little. It's Super Meat Boy is a pile of meat that just explodes. And yes, he's red. It might look like blood, but I don't think that's an issue. The issue is the big worm bosses that I was fighting on one of the last levels that he was giggling at every time they flew into a hacksaw. I don't know if this makes me a bad dad. He was having a good time. He's now asking. He came home from daycare today and he said, "Dad, can we play Meat Boy?" And I said, "Oh, shit, you asked for Meat Boy." He called him Meat Guy at first. I was like, "Well, it's Meat Boy." I didn't correct. I'm not an asshole. I didn't correct him.
No, that sounds about right.
But so the game opens the game opens with the announcer yelling, "Super Meat Boy," and I think he heard that, and now he knows. Oh, it's Meat Boy. So he'll come down, but Meat Boy, yeah, let's play some Meat Boy, buddy. Come on. It's so cute. I can't deny Meat Boy. I can't deny him his Meat Boy. So I'm never gonna say that sentence again. Up next, I'm working on this review. Ultros. This is a Metroidvania roguelike. Roguelike. I don't want to use that term. It's It's a loop. It's a time loop game. This is from Hadaku. I think it's a developer. I think this is their first game ever. At least on Steam, it is. Very beautiful, very trippy. If you saw the art of this, you would think of Rick and Morty, or you would think of what was the High on Life or a High on Knife, the game where Justin Roiland was fucking his guns, whatever game that was. Justin Roiland was the gun. There we go. He was getting fucked. Uh, I, hmm, I'm still working on my review for it, but I'm kind of lukewarm on it. It does this so you're on this. I believe it's a ship. You have to go defeat these. There are these guys in these tanks that are just making the world a bad place, apparently. And you have to go beat them up, take the power from them, and put it into the central generator. And every time you do it, there's this other lady that comes out and is like, "Hey, this is my birthright. You're taking my mission from me." And I actually, right before the show, had a scene where she chased me down, and I had to run from her. The more I play it, the more I think of Hollow Knight. I don't think it's difficult. There are some sections where there'll be like some soft soil in the ground and you have to put a seed in there, and a plant will grow, and it'll be a little plant. And then those little tube guys, every time you beat one, you take the power back to the generator, it explodes the world, and then you wake up back in that first moment of the game. So I can put a tag for spoilers in the show, but the game is a time loop game. And every time you defeat an enemy, you go back and you have to go defeat another one. So most of the time, they're defended by a big boss. The bosses are cool. The few bosses I've fought have been pretty cool. I'm just a little confused with what's going on. It's a very nature-centric game. Very, save the planet, but also you're in control of like planting these seeds and taking the bad seeds out. And it's very, very pretty to look at. I'm learning I don't like playing Metroidvanias on the Steam Deck.
Really, I enjoy them.
I enjoy them on the big screen. I don't know what it is. It's like the one genre I cannot do it. Cannot, will not, won't. I think I've got like 2 hours left in this. I'm gonna see it through, of course, for the review, and yeah, I'm hoping like these last few bosses, these last few areas really change my mind on it. Otherwise, beautiful. Hey, beautiful fucking game. A lot of sci-fi words. Throwing these wacky words like flip flop, dibby doo, da da, la da la. It's like, oh yep, I know what that is. Oh, the other thing is you have things that you eat, and it gives you like these different bars and you use those bars later on to buy upgrades. And I don't think you're getting some abilities from those guys, but they're for this little robot guy that you control. They're not for you. All of your character's abilities are tied to the saves and using these bars to buy them. And then there's another thing you can use to save it between the loop. So like if I put a heart on one, it's like, okay, this one's staying unlocked in the next loop. And it stays unlocked the rest of the game. And I mean, it just flow-wise, the game feels really weird. It feels because I'll plant a seed. Like, am I planting the right seed here? Like, I don't know. Now I just did get something that lets me change seeds, but the pacing is just really weird. I'm confused, just utterly confused. It's a beautiful. Like, did I say it's a beautiful game? Did I say this is a beautiful game?
I mean, I'm watching the trailer right now, and this is like really trippy, but also really beautiful.
It's a very beautiful game. I think I'll know more once I've unlocked more of the story. I'm like, am I playing this game right? I don't know. Did I unlock the right thing? Very unsure. It doesn't want to hold your hand, which I'm okay with. I do think there are a lot of games that hold way too many hands. Yellow paint. But hey, it's a beautiful game. Moving on. I've got a few other games I've got up for review that after Ultros, I'll jump into some Inky Illuminati. Kingpin's another one. Wo Long, the Dynasty game, the complete edition. I've got a lot on my plate. All right, but for right now, fuck all that. Helldivers.
Fucking spreading liberty, baby.
Oh boy, I I've been on the subreddit a little bit since I bought the game yesterday. And I was on there for 20 minutes. I was like, okay, these guys have run the joke into the ground.
No, they have. I mean, spreading democracy is fun and all, but yeah, it's honestly, I think now that we've pretty much got that out of our system, though, such a fucking fantastic game for $40.
So I got through so I've only played the training and I've played the one bug mission with you guys. And one thing that really stood out to me was the aiming, where you have the one reticule is where you're actually trying to aim, and the one is like where your kickback is like putting it. And I really liked because I had a heavy gun that was like, I think it was an LMG, and I was like trying to get them back so I could actually shoot something.
And you know you can go into first person then from there even?
I did not know that. No.
Matt had to teach me when you're aiming down your sights, you click on the mouse wheel, it'll actually go to first person. You aim down your sights.
Oh, that is fucking sweet. And yeah. I'm playing with mouse and keyboard. Entering in your stratagems feels really good. I mean, the one mission we played, like I was being challenged. I wasn't like, oh, yep, early mission. All right, let's get this done. Let's get our XP and let's get out of here. But no, it was it was a fight. It was a fucking fight.
That was normal, Nick. You weren't playing hard with me, Matt, and Jake, where the fucking bugs swarm the shit out of you.
Oh, there was what was the bug that kept throwing up on the spewer?
Yeah, spewer. Yep.
Like it was like every time I saw one, I was like, oh, we have to fucking target this guy down. This guy's fucking. My God! Oh,
and he's not even the worst bug.
I'm so excited to play this game.
Yeah, well, that's what we're playing after this, and hopefully Jake and Matt are online.
After this, we'll be playing, and I'm supposed to edit the show right after this. I don't know. I might save it for the weekend.
Just save it for the weekend, Nick. We want to spread the democracy, damn it.
I was also going to ride the bike after the.
Well, you can ride your bike because I can knock out my fucking my dick, my whatever.
Your dick?
Show.
What are you gonna do to your dick?
I'm gonna spread the democracy, baby.
This is a PG-13 show.
I think I was meant to say I was going to dictate my journal, but I went straight to dick, and I'm like, no, why would the fuck did I say that?
I don't think this guy's ever going to write a journal.
I wrote one.
Wait, did you?
Yeah.
Is it on the site?
If I said yes, would you believe me?
No, I wouldn't, because I would have seen it. I have the site up every day.
I think it may be stuck in draft somewhere, but I did write one.
This motherfucker would be lying. I don't even see it in the drafts.
I need to get seriously?
I see my template that I use, and I see the one that I'm currently working on.
I know I've done one.
Josh, if you sit down and commit to a schedule, and like what I've had to do is every day I commit like 20 minutes, and I'm like, okay, what do I want to write about today? Boom, done. And then you could always go back and add pictures later.
You're asking me to spend more time on a journal than I do on my own body.
It's good. It's good for you to make time for yourself.
That's fair. I just need to do it. I've just been super busy trying to find a new job.
We'll save that for post show. We'll save that talk.
Anyway,
that was 40 minutes. That was 43 minutes worth of video game talk. You're not getting that anywhere else. It's not happening.
Half of that was Final Fantasy. So you're welcome, world.
God damn it. Hey, Josh, you want to do some news?
Read all about it. Latest football scores. Morning paper. Morning Star. Paper, mister?
It's time for old news.
Well, let's do some news. Let's start this out. So, first and foremost, Elden Ring, of course, the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC confirmed, and then we're also starting to see bonus content and collector's editions for us coming out. So they announced that.
So this is an article. This is from Game Rant. This is from John DeCarlo, and I did see that those collector's editions you were talking about. I saw maybe it was on this page. Let's see. They got a nice statue and everything with it, and I was like, "Oh wow, that was really fucking nice."
For a DLC, which blows my mind.
It's supposed to be a big DLC. I was talking to my student worker in my office, and he was telling me how this was supposed to be 2 separate DLCs, and then they're finally like, let's just combine them, and now it's supposed to be like a huge map, apparently.
Yeah, then I've heard some of the things, like there's like a poisonous swamp area that's new to the game. I think someone said something about like a cave. I don't know. There's gonna be a ton here. There's gonna be a ton to enjoy, honestly. And honestly,
a poisonous swamp.
a poisonous
Really?
swamp. But
I've
I
never
had
seen that in a
I
video
know,
game.
right?
In a video
No,
game. What?
and let's yeah, I know. But anyway, besides the point, uh, for a game that's already really big, and I've never beaten it, I'm almost too scared to even get into the DLC.
I've never played it. I've started Bloodborne. I own a copy of Bloodborne now. I do eventually want to jump in. I do eventually. I know I'm saying all this and not fully committing. By the way, I forgot to say, fuck the algorithm, go home. Fuck the algorithm, go home. Wait, no. I forgot to say, fuck. You know what? I forgot, Josh. I forgot.
Fuck the algorithm. Tell a friend.
I don't remember saying it earlier.
You didn't say it.
We have to start the whole show over.
We're moving past it. You can edit that bad boy in whenever.
I will not do that. No, I will not. I will.
The machine's got to him, folks. We're done.
I will have a nice hearty fuck the algorithm at the end of the show. But yeah, it says here, Shadow of Erdtree DLC offers various pre-order options, $40 to $250. That's the collector's edition you mentioned. Introduces new enemies, locations, weapons, expanding on the game's success and high quality. What a nothing burger of a little line right there. Players can seamlessly travel between the new land of Shadow and existing world. So this is reminding me a lot of like Oblivion DLC, Fallout 3 big DLC with a new area. I'm trying to think of any modern games that have like this big DLC that's like in a different area on a different map.
The closest thing it would come to it would be like an expansion for like World of Warcraft or something. But even then, like $250 collector's edition.
I'm struggling. I'm trying to think.
For those who are curious, DLC, bonus gesture, hardcover art book, digital soundtrack, and Mesmir the Impaler statue.
Which looks amazing.
Pictured there. And I think it might be him or there might be someone else. Someone's already like claiming like one of the new bosses that or one of the new characters introduced might be what was that character? Was it Miriam?
Was that the one that Let Me Solo Her was like famous for?
Yeah. There is a possible 2.0 version, and that's going to be them. People are just speculating, of course, but
I pitched a joke to Hard Drive about him today.
Oh, did you?
Let me Solo Her schedule booked through 2004 or 2024. It's pretty good.
God damn it, that's pretty good.
What you got next, Josh?
Yeah, moving down the list. Well, obviously Nintendo Direct happened today. Actually, ironically,
the day of this recording, yes, the Nintendo Direct happened. Why is this page not scrolling? What's going on here, page? I'm gonna refresh.
Yeah, refresh that.
There we go.
Okay,
there we go.
So of course, in Nintendo Spectacular, everybody was, I wouldn't say everybody. A good chunk of the world was a little disappointed. There's nothing too spectacular here.
I think I've watched a few Nintendo Directs recently, and I think this is probably this is one of the better ones. This was a partner showcase, so there was never going to be anything directly from Nintendo in this.
Yeah,
this was always going. People were like, "Oh, this is going to be the one where they announce all the Xbox games." They weren't far off. We got a few Xbox games. Yep. The only ones actually announced in the show were the what's the Honey I Shrunk the Kids game? Grounded, and then Pentiment, both great games. I think Sea of Thieves was later confirmed in the day.
Yeah, later confirmed.
Not confirmed was the other game, Hi-Fi Rush, which I don't think could run on a Switch if it wanted to. I think that game safe. I think Hi-Fi Rush is a safe bet for Switch 2 when it happens.
And I feel like Grounded probably isn't going to run the best on there. If it does, I'll be impressed.
I think survival games run just a tad. It won't be a Mortal Kombat 1 situation, but yeah, it won't be as pretty.
Oh, I figured it'd be like a Arkham Knight.
The one I'm wondering about is Sea of Thieves. I'm like, how is that gonna? There's a lot of water,
and I imagine it's probably going to be capped at 30 frames per second. That's not going to look that pretty.
You can play Sea of Thieves in other places. There was a bunch of anime games that I wasn't like hip on. World of Goo is getting a sequel I was not aware of. Epic Mickey's getting remade. Disney Epic Mickey rebrushed. They're gonna get that they're gonna get that Steamboat Willie sex scene that they had to take out back in because
Yes.
now they can. Now Nintendo can do it. They're like, we're going to do it. Oh boy, what we got? Penny's Big Breakaway. Was that an anime ass looking game?
Think so. Oh, well, sorta. Yeah, I guess.
I can kind of look. I can kind of eyeball it and be like, that's the anime ass looking game.
Oh, can we mention they're putting Kingdom Come Deliverance on the Switch? Like,
That is very odd get. Very odd get.
I'm surprised they're not saving it for the Switch too. To be honest.
The other one I was surprised by was the Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection. Those are the first two Battlefront games, not the poo-poo ones, the actual ones that people clamor for. Those are coming. Another Crab's Treasure. I believe this is a Souls-like, but you're a crab. And
sounds right.
I actually think I saw a meme from these guys. You know, it's the meme with like the towering guy and a little guy facing him. And the little guy was like announcing your Souls-like day. And then the big guy was like Elden Ring DLC being announced the same day. So they got a sense of humor about it. Good on them. Contra's getting a game. My favorite game of the show was Pepper Grinder. Looked a little bit like Celeste meets Grapple Dog. Very cute little 2D sprite looking game. Let's see, we talked about Pentiment, Suka game, multiplayer mode, expansion DLC coming to Suka game. Tales of Kenzer Zayu. I want to say that's another anime ass game.
It's the like weird, like Native American on like a weird futuristic land. Remember? I don't know. It was.
Was it? Wait a minute. It's like a Metroidvania.
Yeah.
I'm gonna click this because yeah, there it is. Okay. I kind of like them digging the look of it. We're getting a lot of Metroidvanias early in 2024 here. Ender Lily's Quietus of the Nights. Oh wait, that's the original. Ender Magnolia, Bloom in the Mist. What a fucking name, man.
Yeah, which I would keep looking at. I've kept seeing Ender Lilies pop up for my recommended on Steam, and it definitely is on my list. But I'm like, damn, I don't want to pay $25 for. I think it's a 3 or 4-year-old game.
Just get it on sale.
That's what I'm in for. It looks good though.
Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble looked like Super Monkey Ball Mario Party, basically.
Yep.
Just a party game for Super Monkey Ball. If that's what you're into, that's what you're into. I'm not here to judge you. Monster Hunter Stories looked like a cute little Monster Hunter that could really run really well.
It's just a remake of the one for the 3DS. That's all.
Oh, is it? I had no idea. Oh, it's right here in front of me. I guess I could read. Pocket Card Jockey. This is another. I think this is a re-release. It's got the cute little horses, but you're playing cards. People seem to like it. I say do it. Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. I had to name I haven't heard in a hot minute.
Well, it's because you haven't heard it since they really remastered. Yeah, remastered the Shin Megami Tensei 5. What was it, 3 or 4 years ago?
It's crazy.
And the fact that we're getting another one, but this time we get extra storyline.
Yeah.
We'll see.
A Ranger was a cute little game. It's it's got the little, like those puzzles where you have to move. You have like, let's say you have 9 blocks and one of them's blank and you have to move to like make the thing. That's what the movement is. It was kind of giving me Cadence of Hyrule and the Cadence game where movement is based around that and it affects the world. Thought that looked pretty cool. Unicorn Overlord, another JRPG. If I'm remembering correctly. Yeah. Oh yeah. There it is.
Fire Emblem.
Oh hey, that's a cool. I like that fucking logo. That's a cool
It's
fucking
cool.
logo.
It is a cool looking logo.
Go over on YouTube, check that out. Or if you're driving your car right now, pull up Google. No, don't do that. That is
Yes,
fucking
do it in your vehicle. Do it right
no.
now.
Really I gotta show you something after this, by the way. But
Oh, Jesus.
no, it's really fucking dumb. Really fucking dumb. Gundam Breaker 4 sounds right up Josh's alley. Fantasy Life, The Girl Who Steals Time. Some more Sword Art. Speaking of Sword Art Online.
Damn it. God damn it. We can never get away from it.
You mentioned Kingdom Come Deliverance, Snufkin Melody of Moom in Valley. What a weird name.
Jesus, yeah.
This story-rich musical adventure that captures the essence of the Moomin stories. I was not aware of any of these. Demon Slayer Kiyamatsu no Yabe, Sweep the Board. The World of Demons. Oh, it's a board game. That was the direct. I thought it was an okay direct.
It was fine. But of course, people always clamor saying, "Oh, this is gonna be the best Nintendo Direct ever," and then they get disappointed because even though everybody knew it was the partners, they're like, "Oh, I want my Metroid. I want my F-Zero." Like, guys, we all know that wasn't coming this time around.
No Silk Song, no Metroid Prime 4,
and the world moved on.
No Mario Galaxy 2 re-release. No Mario. No, just nothing. Nintendo's you're losing the console wars. No. Nintendo.
No, stop.
You're losing it. Josh, what we got next?
Moving on. You got your Xbox on my PlayStation. That's right, everybody. So of course we talked about it with Nintendo Direct, with Xbox moving some of its big games.
These are bigger games. This is a article from Alex Stedman over at IGN. Great write up, Alex. Thank you. I think Sea of Thieves is pretty big for them, considering that when Sea of Thieves came out, how much of a mess it was. I think Grounded. The fact that Obsidian did Grounded and Pentiment in I think within a year of each other or in the same year. I think Obsidian's one of the better developers under Microsoft right now.
I still think out of everything we have here, Hi-Fi Rush is like the highlight.
Hi-Fi Rush really good. That's out of Tango Gameworks. They're the same folks who did what was that Tokyo Ghostwire?
Yep, Tokyo Ghoul.
They also did the Evil Within and Evil Within 2.
Mm-hmm.
So hey, they went off the beaten path. So let's see here. It was as revealed during Nintendo Direct earlier today. Pentiment will be on coming to PlayStation 4, 5, and Nintendo Switch on the 22nd of February. Hi-Fi Rush will arrive on PlayStation 5 on March 19th, while Grounded will come to PS4, PS5, and Nintendo Switch on April 16th. Sea of Thieves team also released a video in tandem. Just tell me when. I guess Sea of Thieves doesn't have a date or is confirmed for Switch. I thought it was. I have a lot of reporting around here. It's all messy. Don't trust anybody. Us either. Not even us. But yeah. Hey, Nintendo. Or speaking of that, I mean, we didn't record last week, so we missed that big Xbox podcast. That was a big nothing. Also, that was them coming out and being like, "Hey, we got these games coming out on other consoles. We can't announce them because our partners are going to announce them because we agree that's what we've got. So hey." Go download Diablo 4 on Game Pass. That's seriously what happened.
That's pretty much spot on.
I listened to the whole thing and I was like, "Ow, this could have been an email."
It could have just been a newsletter.
The fact that, but you know what? They had to do it because the internet was being the internet. The internet was being the not real place that it is, and people were overreacting. Hey, more people get to play all those awesome games, so I think it's a win-win for everybody. What's next, Josh?
Moving on. The 27th DICE Awards happened.
Yeah, so I didn't get to watch it. I was only aware of a few things. I saw that the Lyrian team got to get on stage and be like, "Hey, we don't have shareholders. Shit's fucked up right now." And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Hell yeah."
That was a call out. And it's like, God damn it, they're good.
Hell yeah.
But as far as awards go, I mean, honestly, I was surprised how undiverse it was. Like, it seems like a majority of them went to like 3 or 4 games.
Let's go through some of these. So, game of the year, Baldur's Gate 3. Outstanding achievement in game design, Baldur's Gate 3. Outstanding achievement in game direction, Baldur's Gate 3. Achievement in animation goes to Spider-Man 2. Outstanding achievement in art direction, Alan Wake 2. Achievement in character goes to Miles Morales in Spider-Man 2. Outstanding achievement in original music composition, Spider-Man 2. I'm going to stop saying the outstanding achievement part. Audio design, Spider-Man 2. Story, Baldur's Gate 3, which is crazy because it can be different for everybody.
Yeah.
The way you get there. But hey, do you. Outstanding technical achievement, which I'm not sure how that differs. Maybe they're like, all right, let's split the code. Spider-Man, action game of the year, Spider-Man 2. Adventure game, Tears of the Kingdom. Family game of the year, Mario Brothers Wonder. Fighting game, Street Fighter 6. Racing, Forza Motorsport. Role-playing game of the year is Baldur's Gate 3. Sports game of the year is MLB The Show 23. I think that's well deserved. Strategy simulation game of the year is Dune Spice Wars. Online game of the year, Diablo 4. Immersive reality technical achievement goes to Horizon Call of the Mountain. Immersive reality game of the year goes to Asgard's Wrath 2. Again, outstanding. Outstanding achievement for an independent game, Cocoon. And then mobile game of the year, What the Car? Yeah, very... I mean... I'd be interested to see, does GDC do awards? I don't remember if they do awards between all the presentations, but I'm looking at this and saying this doesn't really surprise me. What does tickle me pink? Not tickle me pink, but like I think it's funny that like how big a moment Tears of the Kingdom was having when it came out, and it just kind of fizzled.
Well, compared to Breath of the Wild, I agree. I felt like with Breath of the Wild, it seemed like anywhere you went, even for like after like a year of it being out, you couldn't escape it. It was everywhere. It's where Tears of the Kingdom, it just came and went.
I think it's Breath of the Wild had really good strong of mouth, and it was people sharing stories about what happened and how they experienced it, and it was the game like letting you do your own thing. And yes, Tears of the Kingdom is an extension of that. But Tears of the Kingdom was an extension of Breath of the Wild in that aspect. But whereas Breath of the Wild had strong word of mouth, Tears of the Kingdom was more people just sharing clips and being like, "Look what I did! Look what I built!"
It started up a whole new subreddit, Hyrule Engineers.
And not even from the subreddit side of it, because I remember like
I joke and say that, but I'm saying like it created its own subreddit because of how much people were sharing the clips of what they were doing, what they were building.
And like Breath of the Wild would have like a clip go viral every once in a while, but Tears of the Kingdom just felt like they were like, oh, Tears of the Kingdom felt like Nintendo saw like the few times like Breath of the Wild went viral, and they're like, what if we captured that? What if we captured people sharing these things online, and we got our word of mouth that way? And that just feels like a less genuine, like less, I don't know. Like, I feel like once you've seen one person build a Burning Man with a penis, you've seen every person build a Burning Man with a penis. You're like, oh, what'd they build? Oh, cool. All right, I'm going to go play Dave the Diver, or I'm going to go play Baldur's Gate 3, which, I mean, I think Baldur's Gate 3 has had the same trajectory as Breath of the Wild. I'm not saying it's like as nearly as popular, but Baldur's Gate 3 is a CRPG that is now on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series. Think about that. Like, it was so popular on PC that everyone was like, "Fuck, I want to play this on my box."
Right. I feel like, and even then, looking back at it, what did Breath of the Wild have to contender-wise to fight against? Like, I can't think of anything at the time that was like, oh, Breath of the Wild versus this for Game of the Year.
I think 2017 was 2017 also. That was PUBG year, if I remember correctly.
That sounds about right.
PUBG, Mario Odyssey. Those are the only ones that like really like pop. Maybe like one of the new Hitman games, Hitman or Hitman 2.
So really, it didn't have much competition. I mean, PUBG was a huge phenomenon, but it was no way it was going to win Game of the Year.
Yeah, well, I mean, you had Xbox One and PS4 kind of like in their elder years. So yeah, I think yeah, you're right. You're right. But yeah, Tears of the Kingdom comes out and it's got all this stuff around it, and I think Baldur's Gate and everything else that came out last year, just like everything was so niched down that I don't think Tears of the Kingdom was going to have as big a moment.
No.
What else you got for us, Josh?
Yeah, let's see. We're just going to mention it. We're not going to pull it up, but the Borderlands trailer.
Now I watched this, and I've seen we're coming hot off of people being mad about True Detective Night Country, which I think both sides are being ridiculous. I think, hey guys, it's a TV show. Let's calm down. We can love something. We can criticize something. Everybody just shut the fuck up. But with that being over, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be the next thing people get pissed about.
Yeah.
This thing right here. So we both watched the trailer. I think it's going for a Guardians of the Galaxy vibe.
But I think they're going to epically fail at
It
it.
I don't want to pass judgment before it comes out. I thought it was an enjoyable trailer. I thought it was crazy that Kevin Hart wasn't really like any movie with Kevin Hart, he's like yelling at people. But like this was a very stern Kevin Hart, a very like I don't know. I was getting Jumanji Kevin Hart from this, and I was like, you know what? And then I remembered Kevin Hart and Jack Black were in that together, and I was like, these guys have worked together before. There's gonna be chemistry. I'm gonna keep my mind open. I'm not gonna see it in theaters because I have children. I can't do that.
I don't know. I just Hollywood and video games just don't really mix well. It's always 50-50. I don't know. I have to wait to see because I did the same thing with the Mario movie. I said it was going to be awful because it has Chris Pratt, and Chris Pratt is not a good voice actor. It ended up being a good movie and gave us the best song ever of 2023.
Calm down on the song now. Yeah, I love that Jack Black is going from peaches to blowing lead out of his ass.
Yes,
Literally. We'll see. We've got nothing but time. What's next, Josh?
Let's bring it back to Helldivers 2. All the issues that are coming with it as well. So couldn't really find an article just talking about them. So I found one that basically was like, hey, this is the updates that's going to come out, and this is what they're going to do in the next the roadmap of fixing their issues. So for those not aware, day one, or technically day one issues that we're going to call it, was the infinite black screen, which the game would not start up on PC. It just would not get past the like intro movie. And then there was these server issues where good luck getting into a game because the servers are full all the time.
And we're playing these. We've played the game. I think we both played it after the update, but things seem fine now. We both did have to wait, but we both got into games pretty quick. The more I hear about these developers, the more I like them. The I forget his name. One of the leads on the game was like, hey, we don't want to hire too many people because we're just going to have to turn around and fire them. And I was like, yeah, good for you, man. Good for you. Thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, just like anything good in the world, gamers are there to ruin it. There are a lot of angry people in the Discord, a lot of angry people in the subreddit. Yeah, everyone just be patient and shut up.
Not only that, but I honestly give them mad respect for doing the one thing that most companies wouldn't do. Don't buy our game until we fix the server issue.
That was also really cool, yeah.
I honestly made me like appreciate them more because like, yeah, we understand this is an issue and we're working on it as fast as we can, but really the only fix is going to get more and we don't have it right now. We're working on that, which is understandable. Like you don't develop a game and expect it to run as successfully as this has. Like it's unheard of. I mean, it's not unheard of. It happens all the time, but you don't make a game going, oh, this is going to be the game of the year starting out in February.
And I did see that people were complaining about the game. PS5 players were like, well, if it wasn't on Steam, this wouldn't happen. It's like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, like, guys, that's just more people you can play with. What do you care? And if you don't,
Lay your arms down. The console wars, they're over.
be upset all you want that Sony is making you pay to use your online service, and the rest of us are lucky enough to just own a PC that lets us play it for free.
One more story, Josh. Let's finish on a strong note here.
Oh God, Lady Gaga is coming to Fortnite.
I was born.
And just so everybody knows, I'm not upset that Lady Gaga is the thing. It's Fortnite. I can't. I know.
Baby, I was born. Okay, I'm done.
I think this is like the equivalent of getting Nicki Minaj on Call of Duty.
Yeah, it sounds like she's getting a Lego skin as well, which is pretty cool. It's going to be part of Fortnite Festival, so she's doing a concert, which is awesome. Hopefully there's no Fortnite concert curse because Travis Scott had that incident a few years after his. So hopefully Lady Gaga, takes care of her fans and doesn't let someone get trampled and continue the show. But Lady Gaga announced this on Twitter in the most fascinating of ways. She tweeted back in 2019, "What's Fortnite?" She misspelled it. Spelled it Night. And then so she quote tweeted herself and did the asterisk and spelt Fortnite right. So that was pretty funny. Deep cut. Handful of Lady Gaga songs being added into the game. Those will be 500 V-Bucks a piece, I believe, if they follow the same trend as other songs. The skin looks okay here. I'm kind of interested in getting the Lady Gaga skin here. I've got enough V-Bucks. All right, and that's all the news. Josh, thank you for pulling all those stories. It was a lot, but we got through it super duper quick. Josh, you got a meme for us?
Me time.
I sure do.
All right, what we got here?
The Nintendo Direct cycle. Nintendo Direct announced. Fans overhyped expecting a new F-Zero, Star Fox, or Metroid. It obviously doesn't happen because it isn't E3. Fans get upset at Nintendo for not delivering on something it never promised in the first place. And then the vicious cycle continues. Which is ironic because E3 doesn't exist anymore. But I saw this and I was like, yeah, this is basically sums it up for the most part. I mean, what else is there to say? People get upset and it's like, you guys know they're not going to talk about any of their stuff. It literally says it in the title.
Well, Josh, that is a solid meme. I appreciate the work on that meme. Hey, everybody, that is the episode. That's right. We're getting out of here. Book club announcement. We were originally thinking, hey, we're going to do every Fallout. No, we're not fucking doing that. We're only going to do one Fallout. And we've decided in the world of book clubs, what better than a game that never ends? That's right.
Fallout 2.
No, not Fallout 2. We're doing Fallout 76. That's right. The game where people got the shitty mesh bags that didn't match the mesh bags that were promised. The game that was so broken it didn't have NPCs when it launched. The game set in West Virginia. That's still questionable. West Virginia is awful. I do like the sound of that setting. We're gonna play Fallout 76 starting in March. We do have some guests coming up in some future shows here. We'll have Seth from Overthinking Games next week, so that'll be fun. We'll have finally finished the full Overthinking Games set. We'll have collected them all. We'll have a guest who is proficient in The Last of Us multiplayer. We're going to talk to him about that community over there, so that'll be fun. We're also going to have a few other guests throughout the month of March, so be ready for those. Hey, I'm Nick. You can find me on Twitter at @ThatKaufman. You can find me on Twitch and YouTube at NickFatKnight. You can also find me contributing over at Game Chronicles and also over on harddrive.net. Go check all those places out. I've got some articles and reviews going up every other day. So if you go there, if you throw a rock, you're bound to hit something I've written on one of those sites. Josh, where can the people find you?
Find me anywhere and everywhere at I'm Josh Saying.
He is, and he is also writing for Game Chronicles. He's got reviews going up, so go check them out. Do it now. Hey, you can find us anywhere you get your podcasts. We're on Apple, Spotify, YouTube Podcasts, and YouTube proper, where you can see our beautiful faces. You can also keep up with us on the X or the Twitter. You can keep up with us on Instagram. We're not on TikTok as much, just because what's the point? We've also got a website, smashinggametime.com. We've got journal entries over there. We're going to have some write-ups going up soon. And we're also where episodes of the podcast live, so go check it out over there. Also got all our interviews on up there. There are a few games coming out that I want to get some interviews for, so let's keep our eyes peeled out there for those interviews coming soon. Hey, thank you as always to Alex Marvin Clark for our intro and outro song, Hunt Him Down. I didn't say it at the top of the show. I apologize for those who were very disappointed. Hey, fuck the algorithm, tell a friend. That's right. Smashing Game Time runs off word of mouth. We don't play the computer's games. We play games. I like that new bit. Hey, we're getting the fuck out of here. Hey, everybody. This has been Smashing Game Time. We hope you all had a smashing great time. We'll see each and every one of you next time.